Winter harvest, some things for you to do in your garden this month, some cool gardening products, and a lot more in today's episode of California Gardening. We will begin with a garden tour. We will look at the harvest we made this month. We will then look at some things for you to do in your garden, and finally some cool gardening products. So let's begin with a tour of the garden. In the raised beds we have some green onions which have started bolting, and I'll probably remove them soon, followed by some other onions that are growing beside it, and some cabbages that are also growing in the same bed, and we've protected this with the netting. Now right next to that bed we have the hyacinth beans, and they're still growing pretty well in the cool season and producing a lot of beans. And there are some potato plants that we just planted. These are the seed potatoes that we planted in this raised bed, and I'll probably top it off with some compost or more soil as the plants grow. So this is a good time to plant seed potatoes in your garden. In the next bed we have the Malabar spinach growing, and I planted some taro root plants as well there. And right next to the Malabar spinach we have the onions. These are the onion sets we planted, and the onion sets have now sent out shoots and are growing pretty well. So good time to plant onions and potatoes in your garden. We did harvest our kohlrabis from this bed, and in the next bed we have some cauliflower and cabbage plants growing. Looking at containers now, we have the pineapple plants that are growing well, and they've survived the winter season pretty well by looking at the leaves here. Followed by some carrots that are growing in this whiskey barrel container, and we did harvest some carrots this month. And some sunchokes that I'm trying out for the first time. On the other side we have some cauliflower and cabbage plants growing, followed by the ivy gourd which is dormant now. And finally some radishes that are growing in this whiskey barrel container and are ready for harvest. And now let's look at some harvests we made. In February, we harvested a lot of avocados. This is the gem avocado, and it has yielded a lot of avocados for us this season. And I will be pruning this tree soon after we completely harvest the avocados. Cabbages. Cabbage is a cool season crop, and we did harvest a lot of cabbages from our garden during February. Here you can see a really good sized cabbage that was growing in the raised bed. And even if you don't have large sized cabbages, even smaller sized heads like this one are nice to grow and harvest in your garden. Don't be disheartened by the smaller sized vegetables that you harvest. We were able to harvest a lot of carrots from these plants that were growing in the whiskey barrel container, and you have seen the progress of this plant in my monthly videos as well. These are the red carrots. And it's amazing how many carrots you can grow and harvest from a whiskey barrel sized container. Fresh carrots are pretty amazing. They're crisp, they're fresh, and they're delicious. And this particular variety, the red carrot, is one of my favorite varieties to grow. I have covered growing this carrot variety in other videos as well. And overall, we were very happy with the carrots that we harvested from our garden. Fenugreek. This is an easy to grow herb that can be grown in 16-inch containers very easily. And as you can see here, the leaves are pretty nice, green and vibrant. And once the leaves reach to about this size, you can start harvesting them. Fenugreek has a lot of health benefits, especially for women. So if you're planning to grow this herb in your garden, it's very easy to grow it. It has almost no fertilizer requirements. You just sow the seeds and plant it in a container, and you can grow it very easily. Hyacinth beans are actually growing pretty well, and they've handled the winter very good so far. And some of my viewers have told me that hyacinth beans actually grows very well during the winter season. And as you can see here, we did harvest a lot of hyacinth beans. And once again, these beans are not supposed to be eaten raw. You need to cook hyacinth beans before you consume it. This is a very popular bean variety in some countries, and it's an absolute delicious bean to grow. Followed by some kohlrabi that we harvested. This is the purple kohlrabi, and the purple kohlrabis grew okay, not that great. But I wanted to show you how your kohlrabi harvest should ideally look like. And this is a pretty decent sized kohlrabi bulb that you see here. And this purple kohlrabi is absolutely delicious, very crunchy, very nice flavor, and a joy to grow in your garden. The longevity spinach is something that we've been growing for a while now, and this is a perennial spinach variety. It is absolutely delicious and also grows very well, very easily. And we made some longevity spinach mixed with some lentils and spices, and as you can see here, it looks amazing. The Washington navel oranges that we were growing produced a lot of oranges during this month as well. You have been looking at my harvest in the past few months, and the oranges are producing pretty well for the past few months. So I'm really very happy with this orange variety. It's very delicious and easy to grow. The watermelon radish was the radish variety that we were growing for about 2 to 3 months now, and we were able to harvest some more watermelon radishes this month. This is pretty much the end of the cool season crops. Some of them might grow into March as well, but I was trying to harvest most of my cool season crops by this month. And the watermelon radish, which is not only very good tasting, but also very good looking radish variety that we grew in our garden. So if you're trying to grow this radish variety in your garden, I do recommend that you should give it a shot, and then you will be very surprised at how good this radish tastes and looks. It's a great addition to your salads for eating raw. It's not very pungent. It's sort of a very delicious tasting radish. And after washing it, you can see that we got this huge bunch of watermelon radishes we harvested from the garden. Moving on to the things to do this month in your garden. So if you haven't already started your summer vegetables, this is a good time to do so. The nights were very cold in the past week, so make sure you grow them in a greenhouse or under grow lights inside your house so that they can germinate and grow properly. And now let's look at some gardening products. This website called newchick.com has some cool gardening products. And this is one of the products that was sent to me for review. I don't have any association with this company, and this is an honest review of this product. And as you can see here, this is a pretty innovative concept. Basically, what they have done is combined a gardening glove into something that can be used for digging with your fingers. It's a pretty unique concept, and I really liked it. And when I started using it, I saw that there were multiple uses for it. For example, you could rake the leaves around your plants just by using these gloves, the digging part of these gloves, which are basically sharp ends of plastic. And it becomes really easy because the best tool that you could use is your hand. And the quality itself is pretty good. I was able to clean the gloves after use, and they're pretty much like any other gloves. You can wash them as well after the use. I kept these gloves in complete sunlight for about 5 days to check if the material had any issues or it went bad or it melted. And surprisingly, it stood very well against the elements. The sunlight could not really damage the material on the gloves. So overall, I'm pretty happy. As you can see here, I'm removing the weeds around my onion plants. I'm also aerating the soil, which is very important for your plants to grow well. And I think this gloves helps me achieve this purpose very easily. So if you want to know more about this product, or if you want to buy this product, do check out this information on your screen. And it's pretty reasonably priced at about $7. It's pretty reasonable, and shipping is free as well. So I do recommend that you check it out. And moving on to more things in retail, at your local gardening stores, you will find seed potatoes, onion sets, everything that you can just buy and plant in your garden right now. The onion sets were the ones that you saw in my raised bed tour. They're easy to grow and they're very productive as well. The bare-rooted plants like grapes and cherries and peaches are also available in your local gardening stores like Lowe's or Home Depot. And then in Costco, you can see a lot of interesting products like the whiskey barrel containers at very affordable prices. They also have earthworm castings at very affordable prices as well. So it's a good time to stock up on whiskey barrels and other things that you need for your gardening season. So there we have it, folks. That was our episode on the California garden for the month of February. If you like this video, do give us a thumbs up. And if you have any comments, put them in the comments box below. We'll see you again soon. Happy gardening.